Okay, so now we have those equations written. Let's take a look at some other important things that we need to figure out. So it seems like Jordan would like to work less than 36 hours per week. And it also seems like he would rather mow than garden. And the question is, can we find a scenario where he can work less than 36 hours and do more mowing than gardening? Okay, so when we go ahead and graph those, which I've already done, we see here that there's definitely this shaded area that represents all the possible solutions for Jordan to work in gardening and mowing. The question is, can he get more mowing than gardening and work less than 36 hours? So I guess what I would do here is, if we see this line here, this represents the maximum amount of hours, and he's going to want to work less than that. So if we consider this second inequality, or actually since it does equal $400, we could actually turn that into an equation and create a table of values and see if we can find some whole hours that would work for that scenario. So as you can see here, I've created a table of values and I've highlighted some portions in this graph that represents some possibilities that Jordan can work. If we look at this function up here, we can see that it is basically just solving for G in that second inequality that we wrote. And these are some values that are whole numbers, and you quickly find the pattern that every 3 hours mowing is a whole number that intersects with gardening, all right? And as you can see, this is the sort of break-even moment where he does the same amount of gardening and the same amount of mowing, and that is 32 hours total. And when we get down to the next whole hour combination, we see that he can work 19 hours mowing and 14 hours gardening, which is 33 hours. So if we get back to the sort of root of that question, what will allow him to do the most mowing for the least amount of hours? I guess we would go with 19 hours mowing and 14 hours gardening, because he would only work 33 hours and he would make $400. Now, just to take a few moments to take a look at this graph, as we saw from before, right, this is the area that's a possible solution, and you'll notice that these are just some of these values from the table here, figuring out exactly what it is. The students have really found this helpful to draw these sort of dotted lines to get some answers to their questions. Obviously, you'll have to do a good job graphing and be precise in those things for it to work. But it is pretty cool that you can kind of see those things and see, why this type of thing would be valuable, because you can get a lot of answers fairly quickly, especially the more detailed this graph is. So I guess my advice for Jordan would be to garden for 14 hours and to mow for 19 hours, and that will get him way more mowing and still meet all of his requirements.